Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Kings at the Table, where unfortunately, once again, we are here to talk about a number of American tragedies that are impacting this country under the second Trump administration. We are barely into the first week of his second year in office, and we have yet again another killing in the state of Minnesota, this time with the killing of Alex Pretti, a ICU nurse in Minneapolis, gunned down, all of us having watched it, all of us having witnessed it, and then our government telling us to once again not believe what we saw with our own two eyes. Gentlemen, welcome to another episode where tonight we are joined by Candidly Said, Atlanta personality and content creator, and the one and only Sir Ken, Atlanta socialite and serial entrepreneur. Gentlemen, what has been your reaction to this second killing from ICE agents in Minnesota?
I'm extremely pissed. I'm extremely pissed. I'm deeply saddened. I am bothered to the 10th degree because it was absolutely senseless and it was absolutely unnecessary and it shouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? I think when I watched that video and I watched those ICE agents manhandle that man down to the ground, who was unarmed, might I add, and then proceed to shoot him, not once, not twice, not three, not four, not five, not six, but 9 times to death, that completely was unnecessary to me. And then for the administration to push in the media that what we saw was not what we saw, and to try to manipulate the American people to believe that that was not the reality that we had just experienced and that so many others witnessed in that moment was beyond me. And I think that it is extremely disappointing to see that as the state of this country has been reduced to federal officers and ICE agents not protecting the American people, not doing their governmental duty, but to bring chaos and tyranny to these cities, and to bring them to Americans who are that. I mean, that man was a first responder. He was an ICU nurse
and a veteran.
A young man who saves lives,
a family
every day,
man
who was protecting a female,
who
had been thrown to the ground by the ICE officers.
Yes.
This was a state-sanctioned murder.
100%.
100%. And it's like, are they giving orders to shoot and kill a number of Americans every single day? I don't know. So Ken, what do you think are the bigger ramifications of this for those of us who are not in Minneapolis? What's the national impact, you think?
Honestly, I think at this point, it's unfortunate, but I feel like a lot of people are kind of numb, honestly. And I guess I'll speak more so for myself. It's like, this is just all too common, and it shouldn't be that way. You know, we've had this situation where it comes with George Floyd and Trayvon Martin, and now we're witnessing it all over again. The only difference is it's not just black and brown people. It's now white people. And I feel like that's where the outrage is coming from, people that aren't black. But I feel like, I don't know, I just feel really numb by it all right now. I wouldn't say numb, I'll say exhausted. Mentally and emotionally exhausted.
I think a number of Americans would agree with you, and they would possibly say that they too are numb, that they're feeling exhausted about what they've witnessed, what they've seen. But, you know, I think that that's the point. That is how fascism works. That is how they take root. It's like, oh, I'm hearing of this. I need people. And there's a whole movement. Look, I'll say it right. There's a whole fucking movement online among black people to say, these are not the Gestapo. This is slave catchers. Bitch, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. This is absolutely Nazi Germany in 2026. This is what the fuck this is.
Absolutely.
This is not at the stage of people being put in concentration camps, because that's the only thing that you fucking know, because you don't know your goddamn history. This is actually how the shit started. It started with the fall of the Weimar Republic, a very fragile democracy that folded fast under the authoritarian leadership of Adolf Hitler. That is what these people are modeling themselves after. And to call them anything less than Nazis is fucked up. And I guess I'll even be fair and say they're not Nazis. They have a new term, and the fucking new term is MAGA.
Yeah.
But Nazi and MAGA are analogous to one a motherfucking another. that is, I think, something that needs to be constantly emphasized, and to take the focus away from it makes it more palpable. And so I get Black people want to be centered in the tragedy of the moment because Nazism stole from American concepts to be the harsh people that they were, to restrict rights legally. And I understand that. But you have to also understand the sad reality is these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about slavery.
They don't.
You're not impacting these people and making them feel guilty because it's like slavery. They didn't give a fuck then. They don't give a fuck now. But they do give a fuck about the goddamn Holocaust, bitch. So call it what the fuck it is and what it's modeled after, and stay the damn course. Language matters for having an impact to change the hearts and minds of the Americans that have to have their hearts and minds changed, so that we can find a way to get these people out of office and get back to some level of normalcy in this country. That's what they're doing, and they're killing people. And and what they want you to do is turn a blind eye, just say it's not my problem, it's not my fault. Imagine all the Germans who went about their day-to-day life every single day, when watching their neighbors get apprehended, watching children being taken off the streets and put on and being put in concentration camps, just the exact same way that they're doing to our migrants in this country. People who are here legally, people who are here seeking asylum, people who are here building the economy. The exact same way that those people in this country are turning the other cheek because they're numb or they're overwhelmed or they can't do it. That's the exact same thing that happened in 1930s Germany. And here we are, almost 100 years later, and we say to ourselves, oh, I don't know how they could have done that. I don't know how they could have gotten away with it. I don't know how they're like good people let it happen. Good people are letting this happen right now. Yeah. Good people let Renee Good get shot in the head. Good people let Alex Pretti get gunned down in the street. Good people, Sir Ken, are tired.
Yeah.
And they're looking the other way. We cannot look the other way. And we cannot let these people murder innocent human beings. These are innocent human beings. We cannot let this continue to happen without recourse. And I'm seeing the news sanitize it. The fucking stupid ass politicians are sanitized. I see the stupid ass tweets of we must do something or this must stop now or get out of Minnesota at the end of the tweet. A human being lost his life. A human being who did nothing wrong, who spent his whole entire life doing everything right, protecting other people, came up and
sacrificing his own life for the freedom of everyone else in this same country, the same country that murdered him.
And if it can happen in Minneapolis, it can happen
anywhere.
It can happen anywhere, and it will.
And I think more so for me, again, when I say like I wouldn't say numb. I need to correct myself. It's more so exhausted.
Yeah, exhausted. I mean, that's true.
For me, it's more so about what is the plan? What is the plan? Because for me, I'm sick of hearing the same thing being reiterated every single day from the same people on these large political public platforms.
Let me give you a different way. Let me ask you some probing questions. Okay.
Sure.
Who should be giving you the plan? Number one, you asked for a plan. Now, I mean, I'm doing this because this is what you are the voice of Black America right now. What you're saying to me is the exact. These are conversations I have with Black people every day of my life. Mm-hmm. So I want to have it. Thank you. I want to have it publicly.
Yes.
And then I can just, instead of having the same conversation, I can send this clip to these motherfuckers and say, watch this instead. Goddamn it. Intellectually, I'm tired. Just like you tired. Shit. Mm-hmm. So who should be giving us a plan right now?
So I think that for one, I feel like the people, the ones that are going to be brave enough, people in Congress, like such as Jasmine Crockett, she's doing a great job, but she can't do it all herself. For me, also, I look at things such as the media outlets. Like, for instance, I'll say this one because I watch it every single day, and I get angry now. I used to love watching it, but now I get angry, and that's The View. Every single day, I watch The View. All I hear people like Whoopi Goldberg say is, we're in this together. We're in this together. What the hell does that mean? We're in this together. So, what's the plan? When I hear people like Anna Navarro, like she sits here and says, "Oh, well, I'm happy that the president of Venezuela has been captured because he was an evil person." But then it's like, okay, so what about the people are being captured in the same country that you fled to. Like,
so let me, because again, the people I talk to, they don't go off on tangents like that. But we're gonna bring it back. So number
Sorry,
one,
I'm
no, it's okay. No, it's okay. Number
really,
one,
like,
let me go
upset.
because I want to probe your question. You said that our elected politicians should be giving us a plan. You named Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah.
Many people would
I said like her.
like Jasmine Crockett.
Yes.
But here's the thing: Jasmine Crockett doesn't even have a leadership position in the United States House of Representatives.
I understand that.
She wanted to have a leadership position. She didn't get it. She didn't. She didn't get named to that position. There are leaders in the House like Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. I thought maybe you would say him.
Yes.
There are people like
Well, I
Chuck
was
Schumer,
saying
the
people
Senate leader.
that
No, I'm
speak
just
like her. I didn't say
I
people
get it.
such as her. I said
But
speak
let me,
like
but
she's
let me. I'm going to continue, and then you talked about the media, which of course that's not their job. And here's the reality: who do you think that your fellow Americans would follow? So the question,
That
first
is their
question
job.
was
That is their
That's
job.
not the media's job.
The View, that is their job.
No,
Their
their job is
entertainment.
That's right. It's to give news and commentary, and in a way that is digestible to the people. But let's continue on with the same level of thinking. Who do you think are going to follow this plan? So we say, even if the plan was given to us by Whoopi and Joy Behar, sitting their ass down and they have a plan.
Them. No one's following their
Just
plan.
pretending that, right. Then it becomes,
I
who's going to
disagree
follow the
with
plan?
that.
Sir
I disagree
Ken,
with that.
we can't even get black people to not shop at fucking Target. We cannot get gay people to not eat goddamn Chick-fil-A. Okay? So you mean to tell me,
Oops.
no, I'm just
I felt
saying,
that
I'm
one.
saying, you mean to tell me that you really believe that Anna Navarro and Whoopi Goldberg can sit down with
We did
Jasmine
get black
Crockett.
people to stop shopping at Target.
I'm just saying
I'm
we
not-
did. No, I'm just saying,
I'm
and they're
not-
gonna come together and say, "Fuck this, here's the plan," and all Americans gonna do it. Of course they're not. That's the problem.
But that's
is
what
that
I'm
we're
saying.
not.
That's
Well,
the
here's
problem.
the
That's why I'm getting
the only
upset.
solution and the only way that this is going to course correct itself is America has to get angry. And whatever the fuck that looks like is whatever the fuck is gonna manifest to be.
And I
But
feel,
nobody's
but I feel
nobody's gonna peaceful protest their way out of this. No one's going to activist their way out of this.
So
no one's
basically you're
going
saying
to
a civil
boycott their
war.
way out of this. America has to get
So you're
fucking
saying-
angry,
so you're
and there
basically
damn
saying
near
a-
has to be a war.
So that's what I said. So you're basically saying
That's
a
the
civil
only
war.
solution.
You're saying a civil
That's the
war,
only
but that's what they
solution.
want. That is
But that's the
what
only-
they want, so they
That's
can
the
call
only
martial
solution.
law.
Okay, let's bring it together. Okay, give us the order.
Or we have to become so socialist that we make the pockets of billionaires tremble.
And that's the answer.
Yeah, but it's gonna take people that are not gonna want to shop at Target during blackout for some
Get to
hair
work.
products.
It's
You know
I
what,
mean,
bitch?
there are people that
I'm not
cannot
gonna
afford
keep arguing with y'all about
food
that.
okay.
to
Listen.
eat when we have.
Now let's bring it together, and I think that's a good point. But here's the thing, and I said it last week. You have to look at the international context of globalization to understand where we are. People, and you can use Iran right now as the model. People in Iran are protesting right now. People in Iran are getting shot down and killed, thrown in ditches, and the world doesn't give a fuck. Most people in the world don't even know what's happening. They don't give a fuck. They're protesting their government, and no one cares. So no one in the world is going to come and save us. And our protest is not going to succeed at a mass level of anger that's going to overthrow the American government. It's not going to happen.
No.
It's not. No matter militias and fucking trees and shit, Black Panthers marching on the streets and shit, that's not going to overthrow
What's
the
an
American
antiquated
government.
way of invoking
The answer
change?
is immediately right now.
I agree with that.
We need to cripple the American economic system because it is being propped up by billionaires who only give a fuck about their money. However, we live in a country where you people are too fucking comfortable to sacrifice any fucking thing. And again, it's not to keep going back to the same old Target analogy. I want to move from it because we beat it for 10 fucking. This is episode 8. We talked about it for 8 episodes. But here's the reality. But I hate to say it. Please forgive me. But there's some motherfuckers out there, not you per se, even though it is you. It could be somebody else. You could even give up the comfort of a brand of hair products.
I did give it
when
up.
there's I'm not saying you did.
He did not.
You,
I did.
let's
No,
say
I
you've
did.
done it now. That's possible.
4 months.
But what I'm saying is, you have an entire motherfucking, you have a beauty store in every corner in this motherfucking hood. where you have in that store every single hair product known to man, even some that's not known to man.
You can create
Kenya
your own.
more hair care, bitch.
Girl,
Kenya
stop
more
your
hair care.
fucking
It's
shit.
in
I'm
there.
not putting no water in my
I'm
hair.
just saying it's
Number
it's
one.
sold.
Number
But
two,
the point
I
is,
live.
people won't even give that luxury up to do what is right
People
for the
will.
people.
That's bullshit. Zach. People will give the luxury up. However, for those who are leading the charge, you talked about those who are leading the charge. It has to be a united front. It can't just be some adulterous pastor getting on his platform preaching for people to boycott Target. It has to be organized. It has to be understood,
It was enough for
people
me.
have to be.
It was
of course,
definitely
it was
enough for me, and I'm not
sure
even
it was.
religious.
I'm sure it was enough for both of you.
It was
I'm
enough.
sure it was
Because
I'm sure it was. But let me finish my point. What I'm saying though is that there can be a way for it to happen, but Target is not gonna stop ICE from killing motherfuckers. I mean, let's be real. Like, come on, Target ain't gonna us boycotting Target and ripping the pockets of Target to shreds. It's not gonna stop motherfucking Trump and the Trump administration from sending out ICE into Minneapolis and doing senseless
Let me tell
killings
you
to
how
Americans.
you're wrong. Let me
I
explain to
disagree
you.
with that.
Let me tell you
I
how you're
disagree
wrong.
with
Let me
that.
tell you how
It's
it works.
not. That's
I
Oh,
disagree
let
with
me
I'm
tell
that.
not
you
saying that those things are not connected, but what I'm saying is what happens with Target. Now, a better analogy, if you want to make a point, I'm gonna give you a point to make. A better analogy would be to talk to me about the billionaires who own energy, the billionaires that are leading artificial intelligence, the billionaires that are sitting at the table and deciding that in place of a junior lawyer, we're gonna put an AI system, right? Like that's a better point to make. Those motherfuckers, we should be ripping their pockets
So
to shreds.
let me tell you, before I even let me start off with where you just left off to get back to the point of how you're wrong about Target. First and foremost, you can't protest something that you don't impact. A real protest is going to be nationwide that's going to be a call to action. It's
But
not.
Zach,
Let me
it's
finish.
unrealistic.
It's not about having it's not about crippling the sector, AI, energy, or any of that, because it has to be.
But
Let
it
me finish.
is.
It's about how Americans, every single human being, every American who believes in democracy, and every American who is disgusted at the killing that's happening indiscriminately of American citizens and of human beings in this country by ICE agents and the Trump administration. Everyone needs to be able to do their part and come together in unification.
Absolutely.
And everyone can't do that and trying to cripple the AI industry because everyone isn't a part of that. Some people
Everyone will be.
but we're not there
We're
yet.
not
So
there
let's,
yet.
let's
We
not-
are.
Let me
We're
finish.
not.
We're not there yet.
We are.
So we're not there yet, right? No,
Okay.
we're not there. It
No.
has to be something that the average human being can digest and do.
The
Let me
average-
finish. Every American
wrong, Zach. I
can.
disagree.
Let me finish. Every American can say, "I will not shop at Target." There is not one human being in the world who
Absolutely.
could say, "I won't go to that one store." And there is, and luckily, multiple alternatives.
Yes.
Why Target was the best proof, it is about a proof of concept. On January the 21st, when Donald, or 20th, whatever day this man got inaugurated, he had billionaires that lead this country come together and sit on the front row of his inauguration.
Yes.
This man did not have political leaders. He did not have entertainers.
He had
He had the billionaires. He
corporation
had
owners.
he had
CEOs.
That's right. He had Tim Cook. He had Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes.
He had the man who's the CEO of Alphabet, which owns Google. He had the people that are running AI. They were there. They gave $1 million each to his campaign fund for all this shit. They're constantly throwing money, and he had Jeff Bezos because he knows that they're the only people that can mount up against him in this country and cripple him.
That's
why
right.
they were there. They are the leaders of America
are.
beyond those who are elected because they are the financial engine that runs the country.
Yes.
That's right.
Now, you
I'm
cannot attack and break down every single one of them, but you pick one, and we all as a group said, let's take it down now.
You make an example.
And that's what we
But
did with
that's what
Target.
I'm-
Let me finish.
Yes.
And Target
so
is still
black
actually
people,
struggling to
We
this
to
day.
this
did.
day. Let me finish. And so the reason why Target was an effective boycott is not about the person at the front who's calling for it. Because unfortunately, there are too many people in this world who, if it's not Jesus Christ or Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., they're not going to fucking listen. It's not
Yes.
about the person. It's not about the organizer. And it's never about, it's about the point. It's about the message, and it's about the impact. And that is why the Target boycott has been so successful, is that people, enough of us, it's not all of us. But it was enough of us said we are never
it
setting
wasn't
foot
all
back
of
in
us.
that store. And as a result,
it
their
wasn't.
stock have tumbled, their
wasn't.
stocks have tumbled, their revenue has declined. Every single indicator of economic success is there. Now you imagine us taking that same model
and putting it towards the Apple
applying it
iPhone.
to Amazon, or putting it towards the iPhone, or putting it
But they were
towards.
actually just saying today that if nobody else from this day going forward do not upgrade their iPhone, just from this point on all the way until like the end of the summer, it will destroy.
There are but my
And
overall
that's
point.
easy.
My overall point is
I don't
this.
have to upgrade
There
my
are
iPhone.
several ways to cripple billionaires. There are several ways to cripple the motherfucking economy. And all I'm saying is that you guys are gonna get off my ass about this Target shit, because there are so many other ways to be effective in crippling the pockets of billionaires, right? And that Target boycott was successful, and I participated in it.
It's appropriate to move into our next topic of TikTok. So this past weekend, a lot of you people were in the house, I hope, somewhat stranded, maybe somewhat mobile. We had ice. We had Winter Ice Out 2026 across the country, especially in the South. And you were bundled up. First and foremost, let's talk about the Winter Ice Out and how many people thought they were going to be able to use TikTok, and they were going to be able to, but the damn TikTok was down.
It was?
It was.
See, I don't really use
I posted
TikTok.
a video, and for an hour, I didn't get one view. Usually, like, I'm getting like 100 views in minutes, but yeah, it was down. And that's largely in part to the fact that, you know, the U.S. government had a power failure conveniently at a data center.
Supposedly.
Allegedly. Yes.
TikTok was sold last week.
Well, no, it wasn't alleged. That's what
Officially,
TikTok said.
Alleged.
Yeah.
I don't trust anything being told to me by the owners of
and
TikTok.
this immediately came
the new
after
owners.
the ownership and infrastructure
But you know
changes.
what?
TikTok has been sold. It's switched over to the Ellisons. They
Yes.
now run this.
Oracle.
And they have already
the Ellison family now has a majority stake owners in TikTok.
And earlier, didn't they say like 150% have already deactivated
So this past
their accounts?
weekend, so first off, here's as someone who's been on TikTok as a creator since 2020, what you have happened is that first off, TikTok had changed their terms of service. So in order to be a TikTok user, you now have to agree to a lot of personal demographic information about you. Your human sexuality is now public knowledge of TikTok to use as they want to. Your citizenship status is now public information to be used as they want to by TikTok. And it is able to track you, surveil you, and then share that information to third parties. And we believe, many of us, that third party is the United States government for whatever reason. So a lot of content creators on TikTok have decided to completely stop creating on content. They're not going to post on TikTok any longer, and they've deleted the app. So yes, 150% up in uninstalls is a accurate data number.
That just goes to show you how dependent the culture is on private tech infrastructure.
Correct. And so, this is a way that people are fighting back. So when you talk about ways to cripple the engine, yes, we could also make a big impact by saying Donald Trump pushed for the sale of TikTok to Oracle and the Ellison family. Now that they've bought it, let's all abandon the app, leave the app, and let the app die.
Yeah.
But that would take everybody, not just the political creators like myself. It's going to take the lifestyle people, the sports people, the religious people. It's going to take all the people leaving the app together in mass numbers. And I don't know if that we can pull that.
Why do you feel that? Because I feel like I've made an investment already in Isaac Hayes. I think that's his name. Fanbase. I've invested in that, and I feel like and it's made a lot of money. He's doing a really great job with it still. And I feel like everyone can go to that, because I think one of the things that he made very clear is like you get a huge, if not 100% of your income or return on whatever you put on that platform, which is different from TikTok. I'm not 100% sure of the basics of it, but it's actually better than TikTok if you were to use it for income.
How much money have you made on Fanbase?
I don't do that or TikTok.
Exactly. You've made $0.
Right, but I'm saying I don't use social media for income.
And so we can address Fanbase. I've never made a public statement about it.
Let's
We'll
do
make it
that.
now.
But
You
we're
just
not.
did
We're
that.
not. Let's finish the topics, and we're gonna come back to it. So,
Okay.
we'll come back to fan base. But TikTok,
As someone who's a TikTok creator
Right.
who has made money on TikTok,
and you're
yes.
now finding its
Mhm.
recent success on TikTok. Your account is growing. You're
Yes.
generating revenue.
Yes.
You're building a brand.
Yes.
If Black people, well, let's just say Americans as a whole, who are
Americans.
concerned about democracy, came together and said, "Today we are going to all erase our accounts and uninstall TikTok." Are you going to do it?
I've already did it.
Yes, I would. I would do it, but I want to bring another point to the table too. You know what I mean? I think when we think about crippling systems and boycotting systems like TikTok, right? I think what the difficult point becomes for a lot of Americans in general, and which is why we don't see it happen in the masses, is because the American economy has crippled us to be dependent upon so many aspects of tech. And TikTok really gave a lot of people, a lot of creators, the financial freedom to leave their 9-to-5 jobs and move into a space where they were solely reliant upon the income that they were garnering on this app. And so
That's over.
I know, but when we think about it,
it's over.
when we think about it, right, with an empathetic lens, you have to think about it in the sense of somebody walking into your office and telling you to quit your job today.
Yeah, you lost your job. And that's
lost
but
your
here's-
job.
I mean,
But
let me,
you didn't
but
lose
let
it.
me hold your
So you
hand when I
didn't
say.
lose
Let me
it.
hold your
You
hand when I
didn't
say
lose it.
this.
But
Let me
you
hold
can
your
say
hand.
that though, Zach,
No,
because it's not your bread
But
and
that's
butter.
but
Let me
It
finish-
doesn't
let me
pay
say-
your
let me
bills.
let me ask a question though. So when you're on TikTok, for those creators like such as yourself,
I mean, TikTok doesn't pay my bills.
right? So are these creators like basically entrepreneurs? Because
yes,
then that
they're independent.
so that
LLCs.
goes to one of the things that I actually spoke about in my TED Talk, which is you have to have multiple plans. Like if you would be a fool to be an entrepreneur and only solely rely on the one plan that you have that keeps you going. And
let me explain this. Number one, when you are trying to generate and drive your income from a platform like TikTok, you have made a fatal flaw in your business plan because you are on rented property.
Yes.
You don't own anything
No
on any
business owner
platform. Let me
owns
But
finish.
digital property is not
yes,
democratic.
You do. Oh, yes, you do.
No.
Stop.
Digital
Let me
power
finish.
is not democratic. So
Sir
why would
Ken,
you?
let me finish my point because I haven't been able to finish any points. Let me finish.
Brevity.
Okay, let me finish some points. You have you're on borrowed platforms. You don't own TikTok. You don't own YouTube. You don't own Instagram or any meta platform. You don't own Twitter. So as a content creator, if that is your full-time career job that you should have found a way to be in own spaces where you have branched out and then you are creating products that align to what you do. You are creating a website that you personally own and pay for. You have your own cyber real estate or own intellectual property real estate where your platform lives and resides. So I can't say I feel great empathy for these content creators who have not made sound business decisions because these are things that everyone in the industry should already know about how you build a brand. And if you built a brand, your brand is bigger than the platform that you're on. Number
what
one.
does it mean
Let me
for
finish. Number two. I need to hold your hand when I say this, and I want you to really think about it. And I know it's going to hurt to say it. Bitch, TikTok is gone. It's motherfucking over. If you wanted fucking TikTok, you should have been fucking fighting for fucking TikTok and ensuring that Kamala Harris got elected and that she was going to continue the use of the platform as an actual vehicle for freedom of speech. The moment Donald Trump got involved and said he was going to sell this shit over to the Ellisons, it was already lost and already gone. And it's sad that people didn't follow it, don't know what's going on. They want to sit on their, shove their heads up their asses and act like nothing was happening. It's fucking over. And if you think for 1 minute a motherfucking evil, maniacal man like Ellison is going to fucking let you make money on his platform, you have another fucking thing
it's not
coming.
gonna happen.
People made money and generated revenue on TikTok when it was owned by China. You will not make that money now that it's owned by America. Those days are over. So I'm going to release your hand when I say this. Let the shit go and move on. All of us have to let TikTok go and move on to the next thing and build and grow and cultivate the next thing. It's okay. Change is good. So yeah, you did. You got fired. You lost your job, motherfuckers. It's over.
I still feel like even
That
if
is
you were
extremely insensitive.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's
It is
actually not.
It is
He made
absolutely
a
extremely
no, what
insensitive.
Zach said
Because
was
what you
very,
have to
very
understand,
valid.
I understand what he's saying, but the purview of him is someone who's a retired educator who is.
I did not retire.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry.
Oops.
Someone who's
I
a former
switched
educator
careers.
who
Oh
has
my
now
God.
pivoted to careers where he is working in sales and making a high salary income.
No one knows that, nor
And-
do they need
well,
to.
now they
Right.
fucking do, bitch, because it matters.
You don't know my
That
salary. I
well,
could be doing it.
You're
I
not
could
broke.
work every day.
You're
I
not
could be
broke.
working every day
You're
for
not
free.
broke.
Brevity,
You're
guys.
not broke.
Brevity.
Public
You're not
Brevity,
broke.
guys.
And I know these motherfucking
Bring it
cameras
home,
and
bring it
these damn
home.
YouTube and Activist platform ain't paying your bills. I do know that. I do know that. Okay, because if it was, you would have quit that damn job
Oh
and it
my
wouldn't be stressing your ass out, and you damn sure wouldn't be drinking that damn coffee at this hour. So, with all of that being said, you're speaking from a purview of privilege because your ass don't have to worry about TikTok or any type of technical platform paying your bills. But there are people who have found financial freedom from these platforms. And so when you think about walking into a job and asking someone to leave their job and quit their job, think about what it would feel like if somebody asked you to quit your damn high-paying sales job.
I appreciate
It would
your
let your
passion.
Subaru go back.
I appreciate your passion.
Damn, now you done told everybody the car to me.
I feel like I've
Y'all
been
pissing me
doxed.
off
I've
today
been
because
doxed.
y'all
I ain't pissing you off.
antiquated,
I'm not pissing you off.
old-minded,
I'll-
sick, insensitive.
I appreciate.
No, it's not. It's
I
just like,
appreciate your
I don't-
passion for the creators, but said
Because I
none
understand
of that, none of that,
creativity.
none of
You
that.
don't
I
What?
understand creativity.
I understand
am a
it
creator, and
too.
I understand the
I
lack.
understand it too,
I
but it's
understand
just
the
like-
immense lack that creatives go through in
Oh,
order to
shit.
produce art.
Nah, fuck that.
Said none
I'm
of that
like- I'm
compensates
like
for the
Zach
fact that
says,
they should have
you
built
have
their
plans.
platforms.
Y'all want
And
to boycott
let me tell you something.
anything?
I-
Boycott. If y'all want to make a, let me tell. I'm at the forefront of tech. I've worked for the one of the largest publicly held companies in this country. I'm now working. I'm employed at one of the largest privately held companies in this country. If you want to make an impact,
Wait a minute. Didn't
your
he just say
impact and
that
your,
he couldn't
your
afford
impact-
one night?
your impact and your stance should be towards AI. You say I'm wrong, but I'm telling you what
I'm
I
not
know.
saying
No.
you're wrong.
I'm telling you what I
saying
know.
that
I
right
just-
So
now.
if
that.
you want to push
I
the
disagree
American
with that.
people, if you want to push the American people to make a stance about anything, you need to be telling them to make a stance about a motherfucking robot taking their goddamn job. That's what you should be. That's what you should be talking about. Because Target ain't gonna break the code, but that motherfucking artificial intelligence humanoid robot that's being programmed in a motherfucking data center in Delaware City and the suburbs of Georgia and the rural areas of these counties, that's what the hell is gonna
Then
break
just
them.
go to school and get a degree for AI so that you can learn how to create
Sir
and
King, you
operate these
sound dumb.
robots.
Clearly, you do not read. American psyche is being crushed. This is not 1964 where all Black Americans had to worry about. And I'm not saying that to reduce it, but what I'm saying is that 1964 was a much simpler time. Racism was bad, yes. Discrimination was awful, yes. We were coming out, we were experiencing senseless killings, yes. Martin Luther King was assassinated, yes. All of those things were terrible, and they were things that tried to break the hearts of Black Americans. But what I'm saying is that now Americans are being met with just as much pressure, just as much tyranny. And it can't. I'm not comparing the racism of that time and the discrimination of that time to modern times. So what I'm saying is that when we said we were going to do the Montgomery bus boycott, that was something that was identified to the politics of the South and Jim Crow law, right? And we were calling on a regional and tribal group of people experiencing the crushing reality of racism and discrimination. And they were able to band together because of that. What I'm saying now is that this is not regional. It's not tribal. It's national. And we thought it was national then. And it had a national impact. But what's happening today it's something that that will require much more than just a boycott. That's what I keep saying. Like, I don't think y'all get it.
I get what you're saying, and I hear what you're saying, but let me give, this is not to diminish those wise words. Okay, so brace yourself. But I want
disclaimer means it's about to be. Just FYI.
No, but I just want to say, I hate to say this here, but it seems like that was reductivist, and it sounds like it's some shit you may have seen on a movie. Now, let me give you some historical.
I promise to God it wasn't.
No, I'm just telling you, let me give you some historical context. In 1964, we'll go with let's do 1963, right there in the heart of the civil rights movement. You may have seen on a number of shows and retellings of history that it may have seemed like the singular focus of black people in terms of their worries was the civil rights movement, because those are the stories and how we've told the stories. But that wasn't all they were dealing with. Mm-hmm. Black people in America across the country were dealing with crushing racism, crushing discrimination in terms of employment, but they were also dealing with being forced into international conflicts and wars. Right there through Vietnam beginning, through the Cuban Missile Crisis, right there through a number. The 60s wasn't just civil rights. And they weren't just dealing with one issue. They had multiple issues to contend with, just like we do. And the majority of Americans were not marching in unification and lockstep to achieve certain goals. There were many black people in this country who didn't lift a motherfucking finger to do shit to stop civil rights issues, Jim Crow segregation, or any of that. There were a lot of black people that didn't do a motherfucking thing. But there were a dedicated core group of black people who were unified and committed, who had surrounded themselves with dedicated allies, many of them white Jewish people, and they were determined to stop the wrongs of their day. My argument is that in 2026, we can be just as powerful and just as effective if we come together and we unite. But we will be even more so because of the power that we now wield in social media. Social media may make you think that it is more fragmented, more broken apart, because you have these voices that are paid to dissent.
And the bots.
You have people out there. So as soon as you have black unity coming together, then you're going to have Stephen A. Smith being paid to act a fool.
Yep.
Amanda Seals being paid to act a fool. Leonard McKelvey being paid to act a fool. These people will always be there, but they've always been there. They were there for Martin Luther King Jr. They were there for Malcolm X. Yeah. They were fucking there for Harriet Tubman, and she said she would have left the motherfuckers behind. It's always going to be that way, but we have to be a principle and say we're going to march in a certain direction. But what I'm trying to tell you, Zach,
and I'm going to close it out with these. Okay. The American psyche, listen to what I'm saying, is saturated. They are incapable.
It's always been saturated. But
No. American...
We've always had these issues.
Different. It's different now. As someone who is of the age of technology, meaning I grew up in it, it's different.
It's different for you because you've never lived through anything else other. You've never had this level of discomfort.
No, it's
at
different.
Your age. It's your age.
It's different because I know the history. And I know the mental stamina and the mental strength that it took for our ancestors and for those who came before us to have then. And I'm telling you now, they don't have it.
No, I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying.
Now we're in agreement.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So when I say that, I'm not discrediting or reducing anything.
Why do you think they're not built like that now?
They're just not.
Because
they've been crippled.
We've been crippled by social media. Because they're not willing to be uncomfortable. They're not willing to go without.
But we never had to be. So you cannot blame the lame duck for being lame.
You can't blame those. You can't blame the lame for being lame.
That's all I'm trying to say. Y'all think I'm young and dumb.
Private tech infrastructure.
I know the reality of my generation. We're not.
We know it too. We be seeing y'all online.
You don't know
crashing
shit.
Out.
You know what you think you know from outside.
Just crashing out. Y'all just crash out over everything.
Y'all outside.
I mean, they're not
Saucy Santana.
So I want everybody to know I'm not reducing anything that those who came before us went through during the civil rights movement. I understand that there were international crises happening at that time that we were forced into, and that racism was not just a regional issue; it was a global issue. However, what I'm trying trying to get y'all to understand, every auntie, uncle, grandmother, grandfather, sister, brother, cousin out there, is that these motherfuckers that I'm in this generation with are ill prepared. They cannot handle it. They will not succeed. We will fall flat. So we need you guys to lead the charge, because my generation has not yet got the kahunas
And if we
to do it.
how are y'all gonna get the energy to follow?
No, wait a minute. We don't have we ain't risking that shit. Let's hold up. We ain't letting these motherfuckers lead when they can't lead. That's okay.
But y'all,
we got
but
it. We'll
part of
figure
the
it out.
reason why they,
So
part of the
we
reason
gonna-
why
we
they
gonna
fucked
handle it
up is
all.
because of y'all.
But
They ain't there, and it's the fault of those same grandparents, same aunties, and uncles.
It
They didn't
is.
raise
It's
the motherfuckers
It's
right.
a communal
Giving
responsibility.
iPads at 5 years old.
They failed, and so
they let
we gotta
these
keep
devices
going.
raise them.
I'm
But
better
wait,
now. I
before
got my point
before
across. Can we
transfer-
move on?
No, I
Brevity.
got one question.
Hurry
Brevity.
up.
What do you
Hurry
think
up.
about? But damn, I ain't get to say nothing.
No,
and I'm rushed.
say it. But
What
we
do you
pay by
think-
the hour.
What do you think that What do you think about Melania speaking out tonight, or this evening, about?
Sir Kid,
What?
that is, we are not there yet.
That's
Let's
it.
talk about the winter storm.
We talked about the winter storm, really brief. Melania is not on the docket, but we'll come
That
back.
was about-
We'll
that
go
was
to
about the protesting stuff. That's why.
So
Okay.
Melania spoke out today because Melania has a film. We're going to talk heavily
No,
next
she
week.
wasn't talking about the film.
No, but she's trying to. The film is a fucking flop, and she's coming out now because she don't give a fuck about you or protesting. But she knows that she has a bad public image, and she's like, "Let me go out and say to the people, please be good Americans, come together, fuck the Christmas, watch my movie." That's what the fuck it was.
That's
Cut
why
that
I
out.
asked. That's all I want to know. Okay. All right.
That's what it was.
Okay, that's why I asked.
And
That was great. Great gowns.
but you said in a moment that there have always been coons.
Yeah.
There's always been coons.
We have plenty of coons.
We've always had coons, and
Yeah.
so one coon popped up out of the garbage can this week
Ooh.
with holding up an apology. Kanye West.
Wait a second. Okay, go ahead.
No, Kanye West popped his coonhead ass up and apologized
You're
to
so
you
mean.
blacks and said, I said a lot of shit I don't believe in or I don't agree with anymore. I really was anti-Semitic and I apologize. This isn't who I am. Please forgive me. What do you think about
First
that?
of all, we're gonna correct that.
Okay,
that was
correct.
definitely not Kanye West.
It was.
No, that was
Yeah.
that was his publicist. That was definitely not Kanye.
He
Y'all are
said, I
so-
lost touch with reality.
So we can go ahead and just that's it.
Well,
That's
can
all
I
have
give
to
my
say. That
You
was
don't believe he
definitely-
even wrote it.
I know that was not
I do.
him.
Okay.
I believe
I know
he
that.
might have used ChatGPT just to tickle
No,
it.
that was his
Okay.
Allegedly.
publicist.
Okay.
Here are my thoughts on it, okay? As someone who has a very close family member that I have watched deal with severe bipolar depression and bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, I completely empathize and understand what Kanye was saying. There's so much to the brain and to the psyche that we don't, and I'm dying on this hill.
Okay.
There's so much to the brain and to the in the psyche that we do not understand. And Kanye was a victim of that, unfortunately. Then there are so many ways that a chemical imbalance can be triggered in our head, in our brains, to affect our current mental standing and cripple us and make us into someone that we don't even recognize. And I think we watched Kanye over these last, what would you say, 7, 8 years, almost 10 years, battle that and have that battle publicly. You know what I mean?
I
And
am no
I'm not
expert
buying
on
that.
mental illness,
and
but I've
I'm not-
never seen a manic episode. I've never heard of one less
I'm
than
not
8 years.
buying that because
Well, no, but what you have
No.
to understand is that when it comes to bipolar disorder, right? It's not just about manic episodes. It's not just about high highs and low lows. It's about understanding how to regulate the medication. It's about sometimes the illness getting progressively worse over the course of time if it's improperly treated. You know what I mean? There are so many. It's like a real
It's
illness.
very
It's very
I get
complex
that.
and it's not black and white. And so
Nah.
you know, I found the letter to be refreshing, and I found it to be reflective of who he was and the mistakes he made and where he's trying to go. Now I know that some people are saying
That was
that
the
it was a
point.
PR stunt,
that was the
you know,
point.
ahead of his new album, and I'm part of the
Right.
I'm part of the few who probably who choose to forgive Kanye.
And you probably still buy his stuff, don't you?
I don't. I mean, I'm not really a consumer of his goods, but I do. I think it touched a special place in my heart because I've watched my family members struggle.
Listen, we've
And
all
that's-
had
and-
someone
and
with
I
mental.
don't
We've
know
all had
enough.
someone with mental illness.
But do you understand it?
Mental illness, it can explain the behavior, but it's not an excuse for the harm. So I don't care how many letters.
That's not true.
Yeah, no, I don't care how many letters his PR writes. I don't care how much he sit here and try to do
not
damage
true.
control now or try to prepare for this new album. It does not excuse the fuckery that he has spewed out of his mouth. The actions he has done and demonstrated that has been showcased on television, social media, it's just unexcusable. It's unexcusable.
It may not excuse it, but it definitely explains it.
It doesn't explain it.
It does.
It explains his behavior.
Does.
It explains his
absolutely
behavior.
Does. Again, as
It
a family,
explains his behavior.
it explains his behavior.
So
it may not excuse it, but it explains
if
it.
someone's bipolar or manic and they go out right now, or they walk in here and just shoot and kill all of us, they're gonna be excused in court and be like, "Oh no, we're not gonna try them and put them
I
behind
didn't say it
bars
excused it. I
because
just said it
they
doesn't
have a
excuse
mental
it, but
illness."
It explains it. Yes, you
Again,
actually
it
can
explains
plead that
the
in the court of law.
Yeah, but you're still gonna do time. You're not gonna go, "Oh, we're gonna let you go free." No, you're still
Of
gonna do
course,
time.
you committed a crime. Duh.
Right.
Sir
So
Ken.
Right,
I'm
and so
saying,
what I'm
Kanye
saying,
West-
mental
but-
illness does not. It only explains behavior, but it doesn't excuse
I'm
the
agreeing
harm.
with you that it doesn't excuse it, but it does explain it. And
But
if
we
it
already
expla-
knew what his.
but-
But we already knew his
But
mental
you
illness
didn't
was.
understand it though.
How do you not understand it?
You don't. Clearly, you don't. Because
How?
if you did, you would be able to sit here and say, understand with the understanding and the comprehension and the knowledge that I have about mental illness, I can understand that and then explain why his behavior was that way.
Yeah.
Although inexcusable, it makes sense, even though I may not agree with it. For example,
No, I'm just laughing because you
He passionate.
no, it's true.
When you try to do a quick read of your unexcusable to be inexcusable continue.
Inexcusable, sorry.
No,
I
you
misspoke.
did inexcusable. He misspoke.
Oh, okay.
But then you emphasize the end to like, this nigga said it wrong.
But yeah, so like that's what I'm saying though. What I'm saying is that for his real life example, my aunt in a episode of Mania killed my grandfather, murdered my grandfather. It does not excuse the crime that she committed. She's in prison to this day, and she will be there for life. However, that trauma that happened to her and that caused that chemical imbalance in her brain explains why
Right.
she did what she did.
I will say that your perspective makes me feel possibly more understanding of Kanye West.
Yes.
However,
saying.
and I do, it makes me feel a level of understanding.
You don't have to agree with him or like him.
And one thing
but
I'm
just
learning,
understand it.
and one thing I'm learning because I am very particular about the power of words, and I'm understanding because people like I think, people say stupid shit like some people are empaths, but they're very few. So I can't even say I feel empathy for Kanye because I don't. Here's the thing. I understand it. Empathy is when you're able to understand and relate to it and adjust yourself to embrace it so that you respond to the person differently. I don't have that. For
I
him.
don't either.
I don't have it for a lot of motherfuckers.
I don't either.
I will never support Kanye
Guess it's a
West.
Scorpio in us.
I will not stream Kanye
You don't
West.
have to.
I will never support him.
And you probably shouldn't.
Right. But I am more understanding of the
And
plight.
that's all I'm saying.
They always say
That's all I'm saying.
public remorse
Yeah.
means nothing without private change.
Sir Ken, shut
That's
the
a
hell
great
up.
quote. Say it again. I did like that.
Public remorse means nothing without private change.
Yeah, Sir Kid has said a lot, but in the middle of a whole lot being said, he's pulled out some bangers tonight. You dropped some real bangers.
feel like
Oh,
I'm
I'm gonna
in-
let me close my
No.
shit.
No.
You,
You dropped some
I
bangers.
don't want to hear.
We
I don't
have
need
got
you.
to get
What did you
someone
say?
else
No,
in
but-
my age range on this fucking show.
But no,
Wait a minute,
'Cause I
your age
cannot be
range,
the
bitch. You only
lone-standing.
1 year younger than me.
Girl, please, I am several years younger than you. Decades. The hell?
Now, Sir Kid, when you said, what was it said? Something doesn't excuse the.
I said public remorse means nothing without private
No,
change.
I know that, but before you had said something about this doesn't excuse the harm. What was it?
Oh, no. I said mental illness explains the behavior, but it doesn't excuse the harm.
And I love it.
Yeah,
See, those are
that's
two
true. That's true.
solid quotes. I can literally put your face on the Instagram flyer, and you can have those quotes because those are really good. Really good. So that kind of wraps us up. We can't ever end the show without two things. We have not done a good job the last two episodes since coming to the brand new home of Kings at the Table without doing our royal roast.
Y'all done roasted me today. I don't feel like roasting nobody.
And we gotta have our royal roast
For my
with this
life
big
today.
ass bottle of water been the whole
Bitch, I
damn
gotta
show.
stay hydrated.
And that water costs $50. $50
He
from
bought
Target.
it from Target.
No, I didn't. I
Right.
bought it from
See,
Publix.
we both said
He bought
that.
it from Target. So, we gotta have our royal roast, and then we have a crown to award. This week, Sir Ken, we had everything that happened really for the last month, in the month of January. We have seen a lot of this little man, Greg Bovino. I had never seen him before. He's he's like your height. Oh, he's not that tall. I'm just saying.
We're the same height.
Short.
What?
You and I are the same height. You're probably a
Girl.
half a centimeter taller.
I'm so tired.
Okay, Sir
Dude,
Ken,
I'm
that's fine.
67 and a half inches.
How tall are you?
67 and a half inches.
Girl,
what is that?
how
You're
tall is that in
Sir Ken,
feet?
you're 5'6". Right.
No, I'm almost 5'8".
So Ken, I'm 5'10".
Girl, you 5'7" and
That's
a half.
without the heels.
Then I'm 5'11".
No,
I'm
with-
5'10".
Without those shoes, you're 5'8".
Okay,
5'9".
that's fine. I don't have a problem being
Me and
5'8".
Zach are literally
I
the
don't.
same height.
I
You
don't-
got on heels too, bitch. Yours is 6 inches.
I'm 5'11" without these.
It's fine. Like,
I
don't.
know, for real.
It's fine. It's many people.
He's so ignorant
It's
sometimes.
fine. Anyway, Sir
He
Ken,
saying shit.
Bovino is maybe 5'6". I will give this man 5'6" if you see him. He is been photographed very proudly wearing his ice regalia, which to me looks very Nazi-ish. And this, he was behind a lot of stuff. He said a lot of horrible things. He's done a lot of horrible things. And he's been now sidelined by the Trump administration. Do you have a few words for him tonight in our royal roast? This nigga ain't prepared.
No, I am prepared, but I just wasn't prepared for that question. But I have a lot of shit that I can say.
Well, we're
Say it.
waiting on
Get
the
it off your
roast.
chest.
You don't get demoted for integrity. You get demoted for being exposed.
That's your roast.
That's my roast.
Well, he's out of here. Okay, let me say this.
Dilapidated, deranged ass, dumb ass nigga sit beside me.
You better stop, bitch.
So here's the thing. Let's go. Let's,
You know what?
It's fine.
Honestly,
I got the
forgot about him.
roast.
Do the roast.
No, it's
Zach.
fine.
Hurry up.
This
You
man,
didn't tell me I was doing a roast.
It's okay. This man has, and it's unfortunate, right? So when you look at him,
I can't think.
there's so many horrible things on social media that people have focused in on. I have no problem with the man being very short, giving you very much Napoleon in 2026. And luckily, we all know that Napoleon ended his life marooned on an island, punished for the crimes that he committed against humanity. Hopefully the same things will happen to Bovino. We also have a number of people that has compared his haircut to a very classic lesbian style haircut. And I think that's highly offensive to all.
That's
Let me
offensive.
finish. It's highly offensive, not to Bovino, but to lesbians who rock that haircut every single day. And they do it with style and grace. And it actually is a major turn on because, as you know, I love me a stud. And
This stud
what I
doesn't
do
have that
that's
hairstyle.
But what I do not love, what I do not love is a fascist. And this man was put there for an effect. He gave the effect. He did exactly what he was ordered to do. And for him to be fired, I mean, he should be arrested. He should be put in jail. But I really think it's fucked up that the Trump administration constantly puts their worst villains out there only to leave them left in the
dry,
lurch,
baby.
high and fucking dry when they do what they've been ordered to do. Again, don't get me wrong. I don't want justice for Bovino. I instead want his friends in the Trump administration, Kristi Noem, a bird-legged hoe,
Can we get rid
Steve
of her ass?
Miller, the
Now.
re-emergence of Hamlet.
Where's the anvil?
I want these people, all of them, to suffer the exact same fate as Bovino. That's what I want to see.
Where's
and
the
then that's
anvil when
my
you need
roast.
it?
So in addition to our roast, we also should end every episode by giving a queen a crown. We also haven't done this, I think, in the last 2 weeks. So said tonight we have a crown to give to a trailblazer.
I love her.
Who is fighting with all she has to keep her legacy and business afloat. Tell us about her.
Miss Pat McGrath of Pat McGrath Labs. She recently filed
Well,
for
how do you say it?
Pat McGrath Labs.
Because she's British.
She recently filed for bankruptcy restructuring, not closure, just a clarification. And despite the financial headwinds, she remains one of the most influential beauty innovators in history, having reshaped global beauty standards, runway aesthetics, and Black representation in luxury cosmetics. So why she gets the crown is because she changed the industry before she knew how to value Black women. She was the trailblazer, she was the blueprint, and she brought so much pigmentation
Now,
to the makeup community.
She did it as a, what did she do? Now, because I'm going to say that you better put some fucking respect on Fashion Fair. You better put some respect on Fashion Fair. I remember being a little boy and looking at the goddamn Ebony and Jet magazines.
In
And it's
Ebony
like,
and Jet.
Fashion Fair. That was black folk makeup. But Pat McGrath did take the model in the 90s and really bring and become the forefront of a whole resurgence of Black beauty makers and Black skincare products because right now, who are the Black skincare leaders now?
Rihanna.
Before you had Savage Fenty, you had Pat McGrath last, right?
Yes.
Like, and she did this. I know, I remember, you don't remember, you may not remember a young buck, as we've argued earlier, but I remember seeing about Pat McGrath Labs when she first came out because she had this gold pigmented palette that no one had ever seen before, no one had ever done it, and it was just stunning, and it was a big deal. And it was everywhere. And it was also very cheap. It was done at a very affordable price. It was packaged in like regular plastic, not these massive, high production, all that glossy shit you now get. It was like cheap, like in a little plastic bag.
Yeah.
That was, and that's what really blew her up and everyone loved it. They went
I
wild
know.
for her.
I've studied Pat McGrath. You know, I'm a fashion beauty.
I do know that. That's why I
beauty
wanted
guy,
you.
So I
You
know
know how to make your own hair products?
Okay, I know the landscape that she paved for so many Black women to feel confident, wearing her beauty products, and I hate that she's going through this with the bankruptcy, but you can't hold a good woman down, in the great words of Mary J. Blige.
And I hate that they put such a magnifying glass on.
Of course they will.
Not only on just Black entrepreneurs, but our Black female entrepreneurs.
They do.
I
In this
mean,
moment especially.
Filing bankruptcy is not
common.
It's not.
Many businesses do it. Donald Trump did it multiple times.
Well, I was trying to get a point off.
Okay, go ahead and fire that point.
Filing bankruptcy doesn't mean that it's failure. It's just a financial chapter. And so I feel like when we can learn to understand that, then we won't look at these headlines when they put that about our Black entrepreneurs. Because like you were saying, Donald Trump has done it several times. There are so many, even like these billionaires. These billionaires are billionaires because they file bankruptcy. To save their assets.
Sir Ken dropped a third and final banger of the night.
Well, I am a serial entrepreneur, and I was on Forbes, but
Yeah, do
and I also did a TEDx talk. Yes,
yeah, he was in Forbes, and he did a
entrepreneurship.
TEDx talk. Put some respect on his
Put some
name.
respect. You can Google it.
Right? We respect Fashion Fair,
Like you
and
can
we
Google that
respect
blackout that you missed, but
Can you let Zach close the show?
Yeah,
bitch?
we put some respect on that name. Like we put respect on Fashion Fair. All the old bitches get respect tonight. Now, what I want to also,
Old bitches.
But let me give again, because again, that was a very powerful statement that was made, and now you don't make me forget the statement. What
which
was
one?
it?
The one you just said when you were closing.
Oh, I was saying that bankruptcy doesn't mean
That's
that
right.
it's a failure. It's just a financial
Bankruptcy is not the end of your story. It is not the closing of your book. It's just at the end of a chapter in your story, a chapter in your book. What a great
Chapter
lesson
7.
for all of us as we conclude. Can't wait to see. And we will be talking about Melania and the Melania movie that I know no motherfucker's going to see this weekend. When we come back next week, right here at Kings at the Table. We'll
I'm
see
not
you
watching
soon.
that late movie.
Peace.
No one's going to watch that shit.